here we are today at Paddler's Cove in Washington, New Jersey, 384 East Washington Avenue, which is basically Route 57. And today we're going to talk about the Old Town Predator, the Predator 13, and the Predator MX. Okay, so here we are. My name is Dino again. We're going to talk about the Predator 13 by Old Town. Probably one of the best sit-on-top kayaks on the market right now. We're going to go over all the features that the boat has so you can kind of review the features at your own leisure. Take a look at them and compare them to other boats and you'll see what I'm talking about. Basically, we're going to start where I'm sitting. It's the number one thing that everybody's always concerned about is always the seat. So we have a super comfortable seat that's adjustable from a high position, which it is right now, to a low position. It works that quick. Also for transportation purposes, very simple. You don't even have to remove the seat. The seat basically stays in the same position. You put it into the low position. You would close these straps down so the seat folds in, buckle it in, tighten it down, and the seat is basically in this position, will not move during transportation. To the up position, super simple. Pick it up, lock it in. There's no bungees, no other way to do it, just lock and play, boom, it's in. Very easy. Now, one of the nice things about this seat is that it also folds out of the way. If you do want to stand up in the boat, it'll basically fold into a backwards motion like that. It gives you plenty of room in the boat to stand up in. Another thing that I wanted to talk about the boat is basically what they call the rod pod, which is this center compartment right here, and all the features that you can do into this center compartment. Number one is your electronics. You can mount your electronics. You can move your electronics from mount to mount. These are all Scotty based, so you can move them to any one of those mounts. As simple as that. You can use any electronic base with a Scotty compartment on it. Very cool, very easy to use. You have your cup holder, and then you have your regular rod holder, which again is a Scotty base rod holder. It'll go into any of these compartments. Super simple, very, very easy. The other thing that you will notice with this boat, and the reason I say this is because there's really no drilling required. The other thing that I want to say with this boat is you'll notice that you have 4 bases in the front, 2 bases in the back. And these bases are basically hard plexiglass, which allows you to mount any of the rail systems that are on the market today from any of the companies that offer them. You can mount the rail systems right on. You can through bolt them, or you can mount them without through bolting them. So it allows you to mount all sorts of accessories on there. You can put rod holders, camera mounts, cup holders, anything you want. Now the beauty to this is, as you most know, everybody hates drilling holes into kayaks. So by having these bases in place, there is no need to drill any holes into kayaks. You can drill them like so. If at any point you decide that you don't want this any longer, or you want to replace this, is easily replaceable, and you still don't have any holes in the kayaks. It's a great, great feature. Old Town right now is the only one that has something like that, and it's just a really, really good idea as far as mounting accessories without having to drill holes in your boat. Real quick, these bases are attached with molded in nuts behind here, so it's not like these screws are just drilled into the plastic. There's actually a molded in nut underneath here that's molded into the actual hull of the boat. So it's a super, super hard, rock steady attachment point. Very, very good thought out process for that. Now, the rod pod, which is held together by these 2 straps and this little bungee so you don't lose it, is a good way to get into the center of the compartment of the boat. And you can put your rods in basically back this way. I have a rod here, I'll show you. Basically, you hit it here, we'll just remove it from the clip so it's easy. But basically, you're going to insert your rods in this way into the rod pod. And then you're going to get to the back, and then you're going to drop them into the compartment. Realistically, with spinning gear, and whether it's a freshwater or saltwater rod, it doesn't matter. But realistically, you could probably put at least 3 rods in there without having to really jam them in or try to break the tips on them. So 3 rods will easily fit into the rod lock compartment without a problem. Okay, another thing that people talk about, I mentioned the electronics, big accessory item. With the Old Town boat, as the same as with a lot of the ocean kayaks, there is a mount on here that allows you to do a through-the-hole transducer. There's a kit that you buy. It'll allow you to put a through-the-hole transducer. We will show you the bottom of the boat at a later time. But what this does is it allows you to read water temperature and your bottom structure. I'll go over some of that a little bit later, but just to give you an idea, basically you mount any transducer that comes with any unit with the kit right through this. You can drill a hole in through here, or simply just go in underneath the lid and then wire it up to your transducer. Super simple, great readings, and you don't have to worry about epoxies or glues or anything inside the boat. Moving forward, you have a really nice lid. It's called a quick seal lid. Basically, you can lock them in place, open them up, and when you open them, you don't have to worry about the lid flying out. Plenty of space inside the compartment. You'll also notice it has a small battery box up front. So you can put your battery for your depth finder, wire right through here, right underneath here, and right into wherever you want to mount your depth finder. Really neat feature. Works really good. You'll also notice on all the Predators that you have these little rubber flaps. And basically what they are is they're a way to allow you to transport your rod without the tip basically getting in the way or breaking. It's a good way to keep the rod out of your paddling way, and it's also a good way to keep the rod from tangling by keeping them in there as you're moving from spot to spot to catch more fish. Okay, another great feature is the grab-on handle. With most kayaks, you have your little T-handles that are rope. Sometimes they're very awkward to pick up, very awkward to handle, especially on heavier boats. This makes it super easy to grab onto the boat and transport it anyway. A lot of times we need to tie our boats up for whatever reason. With these handles, it's super simple. You can get any dock line or any rope, basically pass it through here. Now you already have a point secured to where you're going to either tie it onto yourself, a tree. It's just a great way without having to mess around with putting any kind of cleat on the boat or any other kind of device to hold a rope. It's just super simple, and you can do the same thing on the rear of the boat. Back of the boat, and you can see the way I have this rigged, which is basically, let me just remove my rod that I have on here, give you an idea. But you can see I have a pretty decent sized tackle box in the back. And I also have an additional marine storage box, which you can add your emergency items to it or just any extra tackle that you want. That fits in nicely into that cavity on the MX. You can see that a little bit better. It'll fit real nicely into the cavity. And then basically, with your tackle box, you still have plenty of room to put any size tackle box into the rear compartment of the boat. You can see how wide it is. You see how much room you have. Another nice feature with this boat, after you remove this, is that you also have room underneath the seat to basically put any of the Plano slide-in tackle boxes. And now you can see that you can slide this storage box, this Plano storage box, and you can almost have one on this side, one on that side, and you can almost stack 2 of them high. And like I said, you can reach them from the back, or you can just slide them out right through the front of the boat and then grab them with your front hand.